American military strikes in Venezuela and the apprehension of its president have the country and world's attention tonight. KELOLAND's Jordan DeSmit talked with U.S. Senator Mike Rounds of South Dakota today to get his thoughts on the operation and what it means for the state Rounds represents.
The United States launched strikes on Venezuela and brought its president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, Celia Flores, to the United States, a move which Republican Senator Mike Rounds supports.
What the president did was correct. He took out an individual and brought them back into justice for the court system to handle here in the United States.
Maduro and his wife are facing federal charges in the U.S. tied to drug trafficking and collaborating with gangs labeled as terrorist groups.
In your opinion, are drugs, oil, or is it maybe a combination of both kind of motivating this action, do you think?
I think, first of all, in the background was the fact that we had a number of the assets which belonged to U.S. interests that had been taken inappropriately was in the background. But the important part of this discussion has to do with whether Maduro was an appropriate target for criminal apprehension. We believe he was apprehended appropriately.
Rounds says the operation was legal under the Constitution and says he would not have expected to be notified of it beforehand.
We most certainly want to be completely briefed on the operation now that it has occurred, and we want that to happen in very short order. But you wouldn't want this type of an operation, as sensitive as it was, to be literally shared with lots of people beforehand. I never would have expected to have been notified before that type of an operation would have occurred.
Another ongoing conversation is how the strikes work within the Trump administration's America First agenda and what this all might mean for South Dakota.
He's made it very, very clear that in order to protect America, we're going to get drugs off our streets. That eliminates a lot of the crime in a lot of our bigger cities. But in places like South Dakota, we also have a drug problem. And this will help our local law enforcement address that issue as well by limiting the amount of drugs that are available for those criminal elements to try to distribute.
Jordan DeSmit, KELOLAND News.
Now, we also reached out to Senate Majority Leader John Thune and U.S. Representative Dusty Johnson for interviews today. We received statements from both of them and South Dakota Attorney General Marty Jackley. The South Dakota Democratic Party posted on Facebook that Trump is, quote, plunging us into a needless war to take Venezuela's oil, end quote. Democratic U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota said in a statement on X that, quote, I have strongly opposed sending American forces into harm's way in Venezuela without authorization from Congress, end quote. You can read all of these statements along with reactions from other South Dakotans by clicking on links in this report from Jordan on our website.